again, and I'll bring back my Visual Studio Code. Well, I hope we are following.
It's still not better than Zoom.
Yes. Why?
Yeah, it's still not better than that one can last for more than 6 hours. In fact, for the whole day than all these obstructions.
Okay. The free version will not allow us in Teams. The free version. Did you say
Okay.
Teams? Microsoft Teams, right?
Microsoft Teams, yes.
Oh yeah, you're right. If you have Teams, you can use it. That's true. But I'll explore that. Don't worry. Thank you for that. I'll look at it.
Okay.
I've not actually tried Teams for this, but I've used Teams while working. Okay, and sometimes once you have the Microsoft license, I think you're good to go. But I'll look at that. It means everybody will have to have Teams on their computer to continue that way. Okay, but let's continue now. I'll share my screen. Let me know when you're seeing it.
Yes.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So, and I hope we are following what I'm explaining.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in a way, we've explained like two types of if statement. Let's separate them like this. So in the third one, for instance, we could say enter your score and let it predict your grade. Give me your score and I'll use it to predict your grade with if statement. Okay. So now, normally, if we run this code, score will ask us to enter the score on the terminal. Then you put the score. Then we want to evaluate it, whether it is an A, B, or C. Okay, so any person who scores above 80, we will say is an A. Someone else can still have another condition, which will be if score is greater than, what's B again? Should it be 60 to 80, I think. Let's say if your score is greater than 60 and your score is, maybe I should say this, right? If your score is greater than or equal to 80, you score an A. If your score is greater than or equal to 60 and it is less than 80, okay, then your score is what?
B.
Or score or grade? Let me also grade. Is B, right? And let's go ahead now. Put all of them first. You can have another if statement to evaluate for C. And that will say maybe the score is from 50 to 60. Now, if you watch very well, here 80 is inclusive, right? Because of the equal to. But this part, 80 is not inclusive because the score has to be less than 80. And then, okay, we put this one now and say C. And we'll put this from 40 to maybe 50. And we'll say it's a D. and we put, hold on. We put the other one from, let me say 30 to 40. We'll now say is an E. And then we put the last one. And is an F. Say is let me say if your score is less than 30, we don't need this one. Because once your score is less than 30, you failed. Okay?
Okay.
Now, these are how many if statements? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now, this can work, but it has a challenge. The challenge is that all of it is connected. And if you come here, if you start this program, you get the score. When you come to line 24, it's going to evaluate this one. Let's say your score is 85. When it evaluates here, it will be true and will print A, right? When we come to line 27, your code is still going to evaluate this one. Even though 85 is greater, so it will not be true. This will not be printed. It will come to line 30 to evaluate this one. It will be false. Remember, we are dealing with score of what? 85, right?
Okay.
So our
Mhm.
score is 85. So let's just walk through. Score of 85, this works. It will print A because 85 will be greater than 80. So that will be true. But when you come here, it will be false. 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 And here it will be false. Now, you can see that for a score of 85, we are going to go through all our if statements, which is in a way still not a bit of waste of time, because since we already wanted to just evaluate only on the time when it's A, we don't need to have it repeat itself over all of these if statements. And that leads us to another block of if that combines all this into one. So instead of putting them as different if statements, you can handle all of them with one if block. Okay? Instead of making your code do work that is not needed, when it's only one of them that will evaluate at each given point in time to be true. And once that one is true, the other one should not necessarily be evaluated. It's like a waste of time. Something that the score has already printed A. And all of these points, there's no need for your code to stress itself. So that is where we'll now introduce else if. There's how you can bring in else if this way. So else if and bring a second condition, attaching it to the first if statement. Instead of you to bring a new if, you use else if. Now, this is the normal way you think about it, but in Python, this else if is written as elif. Okay? So if this, do this, else if, or you say elif, do this. Now, with this, once your code comes into this block, once it's going to be true here, and you print A, you just jumps the rest. Your code does not need to go through all of them. And that way now we are combining all of these if statements with else if. And you can have else in the end. I don't know if it's clear.
Yes.
Is anybody confused?
No, it's clear.
Okay,
good.
hello, LB.
Yeah.
Yeah, to an extent, I get what you did from if down to else if, now converting it to elif. But I want to find out the reason why you chose to place your else just with 30. You
Great.
get?
Good question. Yeah, I understand. But before I answer that question, I want somebody to tell me something you observe on my screen. You use Visual Studio Code, so I expect that some of you should be able to spot something quickly.
There's an error message on line 36.
Good. So now,
Exactly.
why is this an error message? Can anybody think about it? Why? When I change the if statement to else,
Because of the change.
Nah,
not just there's a reason, not just I know I changed
should I
it.
say something?
Sorry,
Idea, sir.
what?
The the else statement doesn't take any condition. Like the else just works like that. No condition.
Okay, Peter is
The
correct.
else is of the if and elif, so it doesn't take any statements.
Yeah, Peter is correct, but Peter is he knows this thing before now, Sha. So no problem. He's correct. You know, there was an if statement here, and I changed it to else, and this now became because else does not carry any expression, right? You don't add an expression with else. There's no condition. Else is that. Then that brings to the question that Chime answered. Why did I just put else at a certain point? Now, else is for everything else that doesn't, that one of these conditions did not take care of. Right? So if you have any number that doesn't fall into any of this category, it's an else. And it's the same thing with this first part. When you see you trying to evaluate, is this true? And you said no, it's not true, then you go to else, which is where it's false, right? So anything that doesn't satisfy this first condition, the else will carry it. And that's how else is. So when there are many conditions, now any time none of the condition is fulfilled, then you fall into this. Okay, that's the else statement. You don't need a condition. But elif is like another if statement, but you have brought it another condition evaluation. Instead of putting it as another if statement, you have brought it all under one if because it's the same subject we are dealing with. Okay, so that's the elif in Python, which is else if. If this condition does not hold, else, if this condition holds, else, if this condition holds, else, if, and like that. So with this now, once somebody supplies his grade, this block of code will be able to quickly place the grade as either being an A, B, or C grade.